Okay, we're going to start our warm-up. So guys, go to get your warm-up page and we'll get started with that first thing.
Is it the one that we started last week?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, start. Remember, just give me a good educational guess. Doesn't have to be right.
Which one are we doing?
Nutrition 1, N1. Make sure you have caps and ends, complete sentences. $50 seconds. $30 seconds. Okay, time is up. In the chat, let's do a temp this morning on where you guys are. So in the chat, give me 1, 2, 3, or 5. Okay, so if I believe 4 was frustrated, as I recall. Yeah, so if it is anything to do with this class, always stick around and we can try to unfrustrate you, or you can always come to office hours too, and we can try to figure that out as we go. So just kind of let me know. I want to show PowerSchool for a second. And so that you can see some of the stuff I've graded. So for this hour, we're going to finish the kitchen video today. Apple dip was due last week. Apply what you learned. I believe that was due last week. Kitchen math, warm-ups, my job, your job, selfie. So those are the things that I'm scoring. So just kind of keep that in mind. Always check PowerSchool. Keep up on everything that needs to get done so that you are, scoring well. Okay. So let me give you the rundown of the week really quick. So today we're gonna do dishwashing tips. So that was part of the Google Classroom that we didn't complete. I did have a couple of people turn those in, so you're gonna have to retract them and write the answers down and then turn them back in. So just keep that in mind. And then we're gonna do the hand washing Google slide. And those are things that you just basically take notes while I kind of run through it. And that's probably going to end us out today. And then the next time we meet on Wednesday, I am going to make granola bars. So we're going to do half the hour of some safety slides and different things like that. And then the other half will be dedicated to you watching the demonstration on granola bars and then filling out your demo page. Okay. Just some reminders about the demo page. It needs to be your work and not somebody else's. Okay. I'm not a fool. I can tell when things look identical. And so make sure that you are doing your work. It's not hard. It's just simply watching a video and writing things down. Pretty simple. And making sure you're answering all the questions and things like that. When you guys do your ingredients, always make sure that you are putting them in a list order and you're telling me like flour, but then how much. Okay, so like a cup of flour, not just flour. So the reason we do that is because if I was preparing something, I would want to make sure I had all the ingredients in front of me and the amounts that I'm going to need, because if I don't, then that means I can't make whatever it is. Okay, so that's going to be a good indicator versus me, having no idea what's in the recipe until I read it and then putting things in as I go and then realizing I don't have flour, which is a important ingredient. So just a couple reminders on that demo page to make sure you get your full points. Okay. Any questions on the demo page from last week? I was thinking I put that in for this hour. Yeah. So I did put the sheet in Power School. So hopefully you saw it there and were able to read comments and things like that. Okay, so if no one has a question, we're gonna get going. I'm gonna see if Killian will be my MC today, if I need somebody to be.
Sure.
Thank you. You owe me. Okay. So Killian will let me know if you can't see the screen or if there's something in the chat I need to know about, just let me know. All right, so I'm going to try to play this video. So hopefully I can do that. It's not probably always going to come out perfectly, but I'm going to do my best to get it to go. We'll see. And then Killian, it's your job to let me know if you can't see it or hear it. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if you can hear it.
There are only two things in this world more monotonous.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys need to go into Google Classroom and get out kitchen video worksheet, because that's the one we're going to be filling out for the 10 tips of dishwashing. Okay, so have that handy. Okay, I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to kind of get it up so that...
I can't find it.
Oh, okay. Well, let me see if I can assist you. Okay, so it would be in Google Classroom under kitchen videos. Do you see this? Killian, can you see me pointing to this?
What?
Can you see me pointing to kitchen videos? Or no?
No, it's still
Okay.
on the actual video.
Video? Okay. Whoever asked me about it, did you find it?
No, all I see on Google Classroom is the poetry test and the poetry test material.
Okay, you're in a totally different class because that's not nutrition.
Oh yeah, I'm in the wrong class.
Yeah, I don't do poetry. Okay, so maybe that'll help you. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and play my video. Hopefully you'll have it up, and if not, remember there's the YouTube channel. Killian, I'm gonna try to make this big, and I hope that doesn't affect the sound, but let me know if it does. And like I said, it'll be a little choppy at times, but hopefully you'll get the gist and be able to write stuff down. Okay, here we go.
Monotonous than hand washing your dishes, watching grass grow, and watching paint dry. For those of you who don't have a dishwasher, washing dishes by hand is a tedious reality each and every day. And even if you have a dishwasher, it doesn't preclude you from this chore. Personally, I have like 50 cups that aren't dishwasher safe. And then there's that gang of pots and pans that can't go into the dishwasher either. There are actually many things that you shouldn't put into the dishwasher, like crystal, cast iron pots, or non-stick pots and pans, any good knives that you may have, and wooden cooking utensils. Tip number 1, use gloves. Safety first, everyone. These bright yellow gloves not only make you look super cool, they also protect your skin on your delicate digits from losing its natural oils and then drying out. They also protect your hands from hot water as well as any rogue knives lying around at the bottom of your sink. Now, a cool bonus feature to these gloves is that they're made of rubber, and it's kind of tacky. Tacky like ugly, but also tacky like sticky, meaning it's super easy to hold on to slippery dishes. Oh, and if you don't like that rubber glove smell like me, you can just sprinkle some baking soda into your gloves to deodorize them. But I bet you saw that one coming. Number 2, get a dish rack. For around 20 bucks, you can get yourself a dish rack that will hold a good amount of dishes and glasses and cutlery. Oh my! I bought mine for about 15 bucks. As you can see, it's fairly large, and I saved money by not buying that little tray that goes underneath, and I cheated. I'm just using a simple baking sheet, and I'm putting a dish towel over top of it instead. That is called being frugal. Number 3, wipe food off your dishes ASAP. Might sound a little simplistic, but you'd be surprised how much tougher it is to wash food that has been sitting on a dish for 12 hours. If you tackle the food as soon as possible, it's much easier to clean off. When food dries to a plate, moisture comes out, the food clings onto any surface it can find, making your job a lot more difficult. Number 4, use the hottest water you can bear. The hotter the water, the better. It makes the food come off easier, and it helps dry your glasses and cutlery without spots or streaks. Hot water also gets grease off faster. Number 5, time to soak. For really stubborn food deposits or for cleaning up the pots and pans, time is on your side. You can use a few drops of dish liquid or dishwasher detergent and let those tough, baked-on food bits loosen overnight. In the morning, you should be able to easily wipe everything away. That is called conserving your elbow grease, and I am a big fan. You can also sprinkle in some baking soda for a little extra mild abrasion. Number 6, invest in a good sponge. You can find name brand sponges at your local dollar store or big box store. Just make sure it's a non-scratching sponge. This is a Scotch-Brite sponge, and the scrubby side is blue and the back side is also blue, which in Scotch-Brite terms means it's non-scratching. These tools here are also pretty handy to wash dishes with. A dish wand where you can put dish liquid directly inside, and then you see there's this scrubbing sponge that you can use. We use this all the time. It's awesome. You can also use a dish brush, and you can also use a scraper, which I've talked about several times, and it's really good for lifting off that burnt off gunk that you just can't get off with anything else. Number 7, Don't let your dishes pile up. Unlike fine wine or an artisanal cheese, dirty dishes tend to not age very well. What's worse is that the dish pile is only going to grow bigger and bigger, and your interest level in washing them is going to get smaller and smaller. So don't let your sink turn into Mount Dishmore. Tackle the dishes every night. That way, they'll never get out of hand and become overbearing. And remember, the pots and pans. Now, I made a video on this subject a long time ago, and I want you to see the video. It's actually right here, and I'm going to put the link to that video in the description box down below. So check it out at the end of this video, but don't check it out just yet. Finish checking this one out, and then you can check that one out after. Number 9, wash in the right order. Now this is pretty intuitive. You want to wash your dishes from the least greasy and the least dirty to the most greasy and the most dirty. So it usually goes something like this. First, you wash your glassware and any drinking vessels. Then you're going to wash your cutlery, then your plates and your bowls and whatnot. And finally, you're going to wash your pots and pans. Now, you may have to drain and refill the water as needed, especially if you notice it getting really greasy and grimy in there. And finally, number 10, the Melissa Maker way. Now, this isn't so much a tip as it is the way I choose to hand wash my dishes and whatnot here at home, and it's pretty simple, so I thought I would share it with you. If you have 2 sinks, you're going to fill one with the hottest water you can tolerate and add a couple of drops of dish liquid. You don't need a lot. Now, fill the other sink with cool water and add a half cup of plain white vinegar. That is going to act as a rinse agent and help avoid spots and streaks on your glassware. All you need to do is wash each dish in the hot water using your sponge or your dish wand or your dish brush. Then you're going to take it and dip it into your cool water and vinegar. Make sure it's all nice and clean. Take it out and place it in your drying rack. If you have one sink to work with, I'm going to save you a lot of time. I need you to make a pre-treater for your dishes. And all you need to do is take a tablespoon of dish liquid, mix it with some water, and place it in a spray bottle. You're going to take that pre-treater and spray each of our dishes, and then you're going to neatly pile them on the side of the sink. While the dishes are sitting there and the pre-treater is breaking everything down, you'll pick each one up, and one by one you're going to give the dish the once over with the dish wand or your sponge, and you're going to run your sink on a slow stream of water. There's no need to put it on full blast and waste water. Then you'll rinse the dish and you'll place it into your dish rack and let it dry. Whether you have one sink or 2, some items will require hand drying using a towel. This is where I suggest using a waffle weave microfiber towel, which is super absorbent and actually dries quicker than a regular tea towel. This is incredible for drying your dishes. I really hope this helps, but we're not quite done here because I'm inviting anyone who has dishwashing tips or tricks of their own to share them in the comment box below. Go ahead, don't be shy. Me and 64,000 other Clean My Spacers will really thank you. We're also doing a quick little contest. We're going to be giving away a couple of our...
I'm going to stop it there. So get your last final ideas down and we're going to go over the list. Killian, did you see all that?
Yeah, it skipped around a little bit, but it wasn't too bad.
Okay, thank you. Trying to get out of this. There we go. How do you do that? There we go. Okay. All right. So let's see what you guys picked up on. All right. So what was number 1? Handy dishwashing tip.
Use gloves.
Thank you. What about number 2?
Use a dish rack.
Excellent. Number 3.
Pour baking soda in gloves to get rid of smell.
Okay, there was the one that was bolded wasn't that one though.
Wash your dishes off ASAP.
Okay, so get food off quickly. So, like if you're eating cereal, rinse them so that they're not sitting on the bowl and you have to get a chisel to get off your Fruit Loops or your Cheerios or what have you. So just quickly rinse. And if you're not going to put them or wash them right away, at least all the food particles are gone. Number 4.
Use hot water.
Okay, use as hot as you can stand. Usually the dish person is going to be filling the sink, so they'll be able to determine what level of heat they're comfortable with. But remember that that's really important. So if we were in the classroom, I'd probably go around and put my hand in your sink just to make sure it's hot enough so that it's killing the germs. What's number 5?
Soaking them.
Yes, so sometimes you'll be using a pot or something like that, and it gets kind of the gunk on it, the food particles, and it's hard to get off. So we'd always soak it, or you could use baking soda as an abrasiveness to try to get it cleaned off a little bit more quickly. What about number 6?
Get a sponge.
Okay, so me personally, I don't love the sponges just because they get dirty really fast and then the food particles sit on those and then they're not really good to use. I do have some, so like sometimes if the pots and pans are really hard to get the food particles off, we have some available. But typically I just assume you use like a dishcloth to clean dishes and things like that, countertops. So just know they are available, but I don't typically use them. Number 7.
Don't let your dishes pile up.
Yep, they become less and less. You become less and less interested in cleaning them when there's a big old pile. And then number 8. What'd you get for 8?
Clean burnt
I-
dishes.
Say that one more time.
Clean burnt dishes.
Yeah, good. Clean burnt pots and pans. Number 9.
Wash in order.
Yep. So you want to wash silverware, glasses, those kinds of things that have less debris on them. And then always remember, you guys can change your sink if it gets too gross. You're probably not doing much cleaning at that point, so it's better to just kind of drain the sink and refill it. It's always okay to do that as long as your sink is soiled to the point where it's not cleaning. And the last one, number 10, what is that? Who got number 10? Jenna, did you get 10? Oh, Monica, go ahead.
Wasn't it like the Melissa thing or something like
Yeah,
that?
the Melissa Maker way. So what she did is she did a pre-treater in a bottle, a spray bottle. She did like a tablespoon of dish soap mixed with water. And she was just saying if you have one sink, it might be hard to have a water in one and soap in the other. So if you have a pre-treater, then you can scrub and rinse in the sink and it just kind of helps a little bit. So that's what she meant by a pre-treater for dishes. So make sure you guys have all your 10. And if you did complete it, then you should be able to turn it in. Okay. So just go to classroom and turn it in. You might as well get that done, get it taken care of. And then once you get that turned in, there's another document called, I think I called it like hand washing. Can someone verify that?
Was it the hand washing and procedure slide notes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, Killian. All right, so that's what you guys need to open up. And as I go through the PowerPoint, you're going to write in the responses. And I'll just kind of pause at each slide to give you a chance to write. But it's not crucial that you write it word for word, but it has to make sense. Okay, so just keep that in mind as we go through the documents. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get that started. Hopefully you can find it. If not, let me know. So someone asked in the chat, where can I get the video for the first 15? It's on my YouTube channel. If you can't find it there, you can always email me and I can directly link it. But it was called, if you really want to know what it was called, it is called Food Safety Training Video. And there's probably going to be a couple options when you go to YouTube, but it's the girl with blonde hair and she doesn't say anything throughout the whole video. Or you can just email me and I can link it to you. It's your choice. Or you can go to the YouTube channel, which is why I make those channels. All right. So you should have that document open. I'll show you what it looks like just to give you a heads up. Okay, it's right here. It looks like this. I hope I made you a copy. If not, make a copy. And you are just going to fill in as I go through and talk about stuff, okay? Pretty simple. So here we go. All right. All right. So when we talk about washing hands, make sure you wet them with warm running water. Apply a small amount of soap. I would say a dime size would be perfect to have that. Wash vigorously for a minimum of 20 seconds. Does anyone remember what song you can sing in your head while you're washing your hands? You remember?
Isn't it like the happy birthday song?
Yep, you could do Happy Birthday or the ABC song. Either one is about 20 seconds long. And I tried to show you that in my video. You know, I just think for me and for you, I want you to know that I washed my hands so that you know I'm trying to be as sanitary as I can. So just know that I usually do show that in the videos just to indicate that I am sanitary. Anyway, wash hands with warm running water. Dry your hands with a single paper towel would probably be best just because you don't want to wipe them on the towel you're going to dry the dishes on. We don't have air dryers. That'd be sweet if we did, but we don't. And then usually when you go into the kitchens, you know, if there's 4 of you, you all should wash your hands. You know, as a person in that kitchen and being responsible for the products you're putting out, you should make sure that everyone washes their hands. So if you notice that someone in your team did not, please make sure you speak up. I can't remember if I shared this with you guys, but I used to do pie crust with where I used to teach. And there was a person that had such dirty hands that I could see every imprint of the dirty fingerprint on the pie crust. And so we had to throw that out and start over. But, you know, that's why it's so important to wash your hands and maybe not wear jewelry and things like that, because the dirt actually does get into the food product. So, all right. So hopefully you shorthanded that as best you could. And I'm going to go ahead and move to the next slide. If you're not ready, then maybe put in the chat wait, because right now I'm assuming we can go forward. Okay. Okay, so the next section is called Wash Your Hands Before You. So before you prepare food, eat meals and snacks. So it's curious to me how many of you actually, before you go down to the cafeteria, go into the bathroom and wash your hands before you head there. Because you have to think of how many times have you touched your phone? Did you go to the bathroom? How many door handles have you put your hands on? I mean, all the things that your hands touch, the desk. I mean, who sat there before you? You know, did you wash your hands on your way in and on your way out? Did you wash your hands before you touched your face? I mean, these are all things that you kind of like are more aware of these days, it seems like. So just make sure you're washing your hands. That's how we prevent the spread of anything, really. Serving food. So if I was going to serve food, I would wash my hands. A small little story about a restaurant, not in Battle Creek, but in Kalamazoo. This person brought out food and all their hands were all bleeding, and they served food to me, and so that was very disheartening. And I had to make sure that I alerted the proper people that could make sure that didn't happen again. Okay, wash your hands after you handle raw meat and foods. So we saw that in the first video about the girl that touched the raw meat and then shook hands with someone and went back. Using chemicals. So we don't want any of those chemicals to touch our food products. Obviously, when you use the restroom, that's kind of a no-brainer. Sneezing, coughing, or wiping your nose. And then remember that safety and sanitation are just as essential as using soap. So if we were in school, even though you probably washed your hands before you left the bathroom, it's always a good idea to come back into the room and wash your hands. It's just kind of makes us all feel that the sanitation protocols were followed, because we're not in the bathroom with you. We're not really aware whether or not you washed your hands. And then don't wear your aprons to the restroom. Because obviously you've now taken them out of a sanitary environment and soiled them possibly. And so if you wore it to the bathroom, just put it in the dish or in the laundry and get a new one would be my best advice to you. All right, so dishwashing, we kind of hit this one already, but let's just kind of recap really quick. You're gonna wash because of bacteria that grows on those dishes and utensils that have not been cleaned thoroughly. That's why it's important, as she said, don't let them pile up, to wash them as they become dirty because of the bacteria aspect of it. So step 1. So you want to put in there, get organized, and then you need to answer the question. So why is it important to gather everything you will need for washing dishes before you start? So somebody, if you have a response for that. So why would it be important to gather everything you need before you wash dishes? What would we do that?
So you won't be constantly touching other things, and you have to keep washing your hands.
Is this Nolly?
Yes.
Okay, because I didn't catch you when I first took attendance. Is Rodrigo here?
No.
Okay, because he's in my first hour. Just wanted to just say that. Okay. All right, you are right, my dear. So it reduces contamination, it saves on time, and it helps you be more efficient. So that's why when you guys are in the kitchens cooking, it's always good to put the dirty dishes in the sink, and then the dishwasher knows that they can wash them up. And then you're kind of working together to get the job done. So we don't typically cook and then clean, because that's kind of wasting time. So we're cooking, but then there's people that are cleaning. And then the next time we cook, then there's jobs that get switched. Okay. So that's really important that we work efficiently, because we have a bell that keeps time for us, and we have to make sure we're out at that time. So if I feel like the lab should have been able to be done by the end of the bell, it has more to say about your efficiency than it does to the product that you're making. So make sure you're efficient. Number 2 is to be prepared. So in order to keep your dishwater as clean as possible, you will want to what? So how am I going to keep my dishwasher as clean as possible? What will I want to do? Anybody? Thoughts? No idea out there in cyber world.
Maybe like cleaning them a little bit before you put them in.
Okay. So you want to scrape dishes first with the rubber spatula. You want to get rid of excess grease, because grease clogs up pipes. So we would probably use a tin can with some paper towel in it to get rid of grease. We would soak extremely dirty dishes as soon as possible in hot water. Cold water should be used, though, if you're soaking proteins like milk, cheese, eggs, because it won't come off. And then do not soak wooden spoon or any type of wooden utensils or cutting boards just because it dries them out. Usually if you ever buy a wooden cutting board or something like that in the store, they will have like oils or things that you can use on those items to keep them from cracking or warping. So it's a good idea to have the oils to keep them well maintained. So whoever answered that question, that was correct. And again, just do shorthand. You could say scrape dishes, get rid of excess grease, soak dirty dishes, and then don't soak wooden spoons, bowls, that kind of thing. So you didn't have to write everything word for word, just as long as you got the gist of the steps. And Killian, again, let me know if there's anything in the chat, like I went too fast or something like that. Okay, so this third step is wash in order. So another way to keep your dishwater clean as long as possible is to wash in a specific order. So who can kind of talk about the order in which dishes should be washed? What do you think? In what order should dishes be washed?
Plates first.
Anyone want to talk about that? Do I wash plates first?
Wouldn't you go from the least greasiest to the most greasiest?
Yes, you would. That's an
Silverware
excellent.
first.
What's that?
Silverware first.
Okay, yep. Very good. So yeah, if you wash with the least greasy to the most greasy, that's going to keep your dish water as clean as possible until you get to those dishes, and then you might have to drain it and refill, but that's going to help you in the long run. So yeah, so all was right except for the one that told me to wash with the dishes first. So glassware, flatware like forks, knives, spoons, tableware, plates, bowls, then your serving dishes, anything that the food came in or was served on, and then pots and pans or any other utensils. Like if I were to, sometimes at my house we'll do eggs and the spatula will have egg particle on it or something like that. Even though I do try to rinse all that stuff off, it still may have, residue grease or something like that might get in the water that could, turn it a little faster. So you want to try to wash in that order to keep your dishwater as clean as possible. Okay, step number 4 is rinse. You may need to pre-rinse after scraping food particles. So we talked about that, maybe a spray bottle with a little bit of soap in it, spraying those, just to kind of give them a head start on breaking down some of the food particles. So what are 2 reasons that you rinse with the hottest water available? Why would I want you to try to use the hottest water?
To get the germs.
Exactly. So for sanitary reasons, to remove any extra soap. And then if you do wash with or rinse with really hot water, it does help to dry them a little bit better and maybe keep some of the spots off of them. Because if they're really wet and they sit, they either have water on them or it creates water spots, and then you end up rinsing them again. So,
Ms. Zepka.
so yes.
Zach said what was number 5 in the chat?
Number 5. I haven't got to number 5.
What was number 5 on the last slide? I didn't catch it.
Was it this one? Oh, is this what you meant?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, number 5, I haven't got there yet. Thanks, Killian. All right, did everyone get that one? Okay. I'm going to go to this one, which I already talked about. So hopefully you got that. And then the reasons. You could put sanitary, removes soap, and then prevents spots or something like that. And number 5 is dry. The best way to dry dishes is to let them set and air dry. All right, so in step number 6 is to clean up. What are some things that you should remember to clean after doing the dishes? So just think about it. You know, you got the dishes all clean. Now what? What are some things that still need to be done to say that your kitchen is ready to go for the next class? What would you have to do?
Clean off the counter.
Okay, counters, good. What's something else? What else is dirty?
Clean up the floor.
Yep, sweep the floor. What else?
I remember that in nutrition class we wiped down the sink to make sure it was dry.
Yes, thank you. Anything else? All right, I will show you what else you need to do. All right, so before wiping out the sink, remove food particles, and then the sink should be wiped out because it's stainless steel. We don't want it to get rusty or have spots. And I would always wipe it out with a paper towel. That would be your best bet. Countertop should be clean and sanitized. Someone hit that. That's good. Stovetop. So even though we may not use the stovetop every single time, it's a really good idea to always wipe it clean because it does get dusty. Microwave, always check the microwave, make sure the glass plate in there is nice and clean. If not, pull it out and clean it. Sweep the floors was mentioned. Close cabinets and drawers. In the drawers, there's a certain amount of silverware that always will be counted and needs to be accounted for. Same with plates and cups and different things like that. And always make sure that if we do use the oven or the stove that it gets turned off because that's part of the job of one individual. And if it gets forgotten, then that person is the one held responsible. So always make sure that you are turning off the stove. Okay, so that is the end of the document there, and I need you to turn that one into me.
Can you go back to the slide before step 1? I don't know what I missed on
Was
there.
it before step 1?
Yeah.
Like right here, right there? Or do I need to go back further?
For the blank, it's important to wash dishes because something. And then the 2 before
Here?
that, too.
So bacteria grows. There's that one. And then this one.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yep, no problem. All right, so make sure you get those into me. Yep, go ahead.
Can you go back to step 3? I didn't get the another way to keep your dishwasher clean as long as possible is to. I didn't get that.
Right here, Nolly?
Yes.
Okay, right there? Or is it more?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Anybody else while I'm flipping slides here? Okay, so we've had 2 things we turned in today. The video kitchen needs to get turned in, and the hand washing worksheet with the slides needs to get turned in. Okay, so those 2 things need to be complete and need to be turned in so that you get your points for those. We ended a little early. So here's what I'm going to say to you. If you have an A in the class, then you probably can just go on and get ready for your next hour. But if not, you need to figure out what you're missing and get it into me. Okay? Because I got a lot of missing assignments and a lot of failing grades. And that to me is unacceptable. It hasn't really been that hard. So either stick around and tell me what I can do to help you, because I don't really understand why things aren't getting done. So anybody want to speak to that? Or or what. But I kind of need to know if it's me or if it's you or what is happening. Connor?
I forgot to turn in this one assignment, but I turned it in.
Okay.
It was it was the first warm-ups.
Okay, so usually if you turn something in, it'll send me an email. So hopefully it did, and I will take care of it. But if not, email me and direct me that I need to look at that.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else that I can help, or we can figure out what we need to do to get your grade up?
Have you put in the apply what you learned grades yet?
I don't think I have, Killian.
Okay, I was just making sure because I didn't see it put in.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things I need to work on today. Anybody else?
There's like an applying what you know thing due today, right?
Yes.
All right.
For the applying what you know, I picked the create new recipe
Okay.
cards. So can you look up a recipe in Google and like copy it and then double it and cut it in half, or do you have to create the recipe yourself?
Nope. You can look one up online and then just double it and half it.
Okay.
Yep. Just make sure I get all three.
Okay.
Okay.
For the project that we had to do,
Are you talking
there
about the applying what you know?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I did the math problem one, and like
Okay.
I was kind of confused, but I just did it the way I thought it was done. So I just so I basically just like did a simple math problem, like 3 tablespoons plus 1 cup equals the amount.
Okay. So what I was looking for there is like the quarts, pints, cups, tablespoons, like if somebody didn't have a cup measure, what else could they use that would equal the same amount? Kind of
Oh,
what we did on the worksheet, the equivalencies.
okay. So I had to redo it.
Yeah, you probably are going to need to add some of that in there.
Wait, can you show me a example or something?
Just go to look at this, Connor. I'll go and show it to you.
Okay.
So if you go to our page on kitchen math and measuring, this page right here, basically you can just put some of these on there. Like some of these right here where it talks about, it's almost like it's a cheat sheet that I could put on the cabinets at school. And if a student didn't want to use a certain measurement, they could use something else. So like, for example, 1/4 of a cup equals how many tablespoons? So that's kind of what I would like to see on your, on that paper. Or you could do some like equivalencies like this, or you could do ounces into pints, quarts, but just like a cheat sheet that someone would use to help guide them, with some of the things that a recipe might entail that they may have to figure out, like quarts and ounces and things like that.
Okay.
And then make sure you provide me with an answer key.
All right, I will.
Okay.
Also, how many do we have to do?
I would say if you're doing the math problems, probably 10 to 15.
All right.
Would be good.
All right.
Okay.
See ya.
Bye. Nolly?
Question? I don't need anything. I just want to say bye.
Oh, well, is your brother gonna come to his rate class?
What hour does he have?
He has first hour, but he keeps turning things into this hour.
Huh.
And that's not helping me.
I can definitely tell him.
So he needs to log in to first hour, not 5th hour.
Okay.
Because that one day he logged in with you, and I mean, I can see how that would be helpful, but when he turns stuff in, it's got to be in first hour, not 5th hour.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell him that.
Okay, thank you. All right. Bye, sweetie. I'll see you later. Oh, that's so funny.